Hey guys, Frightener22 here, and welcome to my March 22nd DVD and Blu-ray update. I know it's been about a month and a half since my last DVD update, and just a lot of stuff has stacked up on me, and obviously I have a lot to bring you guys up to speed on. A few things that I want to comment on before we get into this DVD update. I know a lot of people were asking me whatever happened to the whole Scream and Shout contest. A lot of people were looking forward to that because really I was really excited to just give you guys a bunch of free Shout Factory and Scream Factory titles, and after 1 week it kind of just slacked off and it didn't really come to fruition the way that I really intended it, but there's a really good reason for that. If some of you guys don't know, I know I put this out on my Twitter account, but after the first week, some good fortune kind of came my way in life. I just recently got engaged. So, as exciting and really wonderful as that was, that obviously took a little bit more of a priority over, you know, kind of keeping up with the contest, and especially more so now, I'm really, starting to cut my spending on movies. I'm not abandoning it by any means, so everybody needs to just hold on and take a chill, because I'm not ever going to stop buying movies. Just like the amounts that I buy in, because me and my fiance are going to be paying for our own wedding, which we're definitely happy about. I think that's a really cool thing to do in this day and age, so we're really looking forward to just, you know, getting headfirst into that and really diving into it. So, as you guys can imagine, you know, getting engaged, it was very exciting, and a lot of things, you know, were going on, so I just couldn't really focus my attention on that and stuff. So I do sincerely apologize for halting that contest, but on the upside, I was happy that I did get 1 week of it done, because some lucky fan got 3 Roger Corman Cult Classics titles, so I hope the winner of that contest is enjoying those films thoroughly. Again, just to kind of reiterate the fact that I did get engaged, and now, my money is going to be going towards, you know, saving up for the wedding, of course, the big day. So I will say to you guys that the amount, as you guys know, I do buy a lot. I'm a big movie junkie, if you haven't already caught on to that by now. But I'm not going to be buying in the massive amounts that I have normally been doing since I've been hosting my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm still going to be buying, but I just think that the DVD updates are going to be a little bit... I don't know if they're going to be as far and few between, but whenever I do shoot one, it's either going to be in much smaller quantities of things, or I might just hold off on doing videos until I have a pretty big stockpile. But all the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys in today's update is probably the last major haul, and I've been getting questions on Twitter and, you know, private messages on YouTube and stuff of when the next DVD update was coming, and it's finally here, and thank goodness I'm doing it now, because I have so much stuff to show you guys, and if I would have waited any longer, I probably would have just gotten that much more lazy and that much more intimidated to get all this stuff together. Don't mind the background of where I house a pretty big majority of my collection, which is in that closet, so don't let your eyes be straight there. I just had to keep it like that because all of the stuff I'm about to show you guys is going right back in there, so please bear with the mess. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy this March 22nd DVD and Blu-ray update from your old friend, Frightener22. The first one that we're going to talk about is a pretty interesting one, because I've been showing this one on my Twitter account, and a lot of people have been caught by surprise on it, because this whole time they thought that this release was coming, and then it just got canceled altogether, apparently. But that's not the case. It's actually relatively, or at least it was relatively hard to come by directly through Amazon, so I got a little clever, and I found out the actual website of the company that was putting it out, and lucky enough, you can order directly through the company. They're based in Canada, and you will get it, and that's exactly what I did, because I know a lot of people, like third-party sellers on Amazon, are selling this for like astronomical prices, making it seem like this never came out, when it is. You can go straight to the source of, you know, the distributors of this title, and you can get it off the website for like $20, $24 or so. And of course, that huge introduction for this, but this is the complete series of Earthworm Jim. This was short-lived show from the mid-90s. It was based on a video game. I definitely remember it being on. I certainly don't remember watching it a whole lot, but it definitely was, you know, something that I do recall seeing on the television set. So anything that I can kind of, you know, pick up and, you know, just kind of have it as a bit of, you know, a keepsake from my childhood. I love doing that with shows, and especially for something as short-lived and you know, kind of unique as this, I definitely wanted to pick it up. So like I said, if you're having a really tough time getting this through Amazon or don't want to pay, you know, high prices from eBay sellers that are deeming that this is, you know, out of print or it was never completely sold, that's not the case. You can just hop right onto the distributor's website, and I'm going to see if I can find it on here, because I think that's, yeah, it's visualentertainment.tv. So definitely hop on there. They have a storefront. You can buy directly through them. I think they're based in Canada, so I think it took just about a week and maybe a few days to get to me, but it got here, and it got here in fine shape, as you can see. But I just definitely wanted to get this into this DVD update just so everybody knows it is available. It's just a little bit difficult to find if you don't know where to look, so definitely check this one out. The next two I got are ones that I'm excited to have because I cut into this when Shout Factory put out volumes 1 and 2, so I'm really happy to pick up volumes 3 and 4, which I think concludes the entire first season of this show. And this is R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour. This is volume 3. And this is volume 4. I've only cut into volume 1 so far, but the 5 episodes that I saw in that, actually, that's a lie. I have watched volumes 1 and 2. I just forgot that volume 2 I just finished not too long ago. But volumes 1 and 2 were a ton of fun. I really, really enjoyed the shows. You know, if you were a fan of the 1990s Goosebumps show, it's definitely in the same vein as that. But I would definitely go as far to say that The Haunting Hour definitely has darker episodes to it. I definitely think they play up a bit of a darker angle where there's, you know, a little bit, I mean, there can be, not that, you know, there's certainly not happy endings. Most of the time there's not happy endings. They're kind of left with, you know, evil winning or whatever. So it's a very cool, spooky, but yet light-hearted show. So it's definitely, as far as new shows that are on the air now, this is one that I'm absolutely in love with. So if you grew up on R.L. Stine and Goosebumps, and especially the 90s television show, this is a show that you can't go wrong with. The next one I got is one that I'm very, very happy about, that Warner Brothers finally picked up the slack and finished this show off after many years of, you know, not touching it. And this is volume 4 of Animaniacs. Really just psyched to have this, because it was just been years that, you know, Warner Brothers kind of gave up on this, and Tiny Toons, which they thankfully put out volume 3, and they will be finishing that show in the spring, which I'm overjoyed about, because that's the one that I was hoping that they would finish more than anything. So I gotta really give props to WB for completing a lot of these shows, like Animaniacs and Tiny Toons. So very cool to have this in the collection, and it's cool that Warner Brothers is continuing with it. Although I'm not thrilled about Tom and Jerry, the Volume 2 Blu-ray set, but that's another story. The next one I got is definitely one of my favorites in this whole DVD update, and this is the Diamond Edition of one of my favorite all-time Disney classics, Peter Pan. Terrific. As you can see, I got the 3-disc. This is the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, story app edition. Just a beautiful cover art, you know, wonderful, you know, illustration, artwork. It's really beautiful. It's got a really subtle approach to it, which I loved. As to be expected with any Disney Blu-ray, the transfer and you know, the video quality, audio quality, special features, it's a knockout. Everything is just phenomenal on this. On this, you know, on this film in particular, it's got a really wonderful special feature that's about 40 minutes long, and it basically it's called Growing Up with the 9 Old Men, and it's about how Frank Thomas's son goes and interviews and kind of reconnects with the kids of all of the 9 old men, all of the ones that had children. It's a really, really charming and, you know, heartwarming featurette, so I would really recommend you guys cutting into that if you're a fan of, like, Disney animation and, of course, Disney history. Peter Pan, I love this story. I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite stories in general. I just love the whole theme of never wanting to grow up. I really connect with that a lot. So, you know, Peter Pan does it for me every time. One of my favorite all-time Disney films, so you can't go wrong with the Diamond Edition Blu-ray. It's terrific. Next one I got is first live-action film from Robert Zemeckis for some time. It got a lot of notices during the Academy Awards season, and it definitely was one of my favorite films of last year, and this is Denzel Washington in Flight. Awesome performances by Denzel. Really cool to see that Zemeckis getting back into live action, although I was maybe one of the few that thoroughly enjoyed his motion capture films. I loved Polar Express, loved Beowulf, loved A Christmas Carol. I just thought that he was getting better and better, and the technology was perfecting every single time out. So I'm kind of bummed to see that, you know, motion capture didn't take off as big as it should have been, but, you know, thankfully, he's still at it. Spielberg and Peter Jackson are still doing the Tintin movies in motion capture, so it's not dead. I just, you know, it's just a shame that more people didn't take a liking to it like I did, but it's, you know, it's never a bad thing to see Zemeckis come out with any new film, whether it be live action or motion capture, and Flight's a terrific one, so certainly pick this one up if you're a Zemeckis fan. The next one I got is an interesting one. This is a Linnea Quigley Grindhouse triple feature, and the three films in this are Deadly Embrace, Nightmare Sisters, and Murder Weapon. I've never seen any of them, but I mainly wanted to pick this up because I think all of them, or at least 2/3 of them, had DVDs that have been long out of print and fetched like ridiculous prices. So once this came out, although I had never seen any of the films, but being a big Linnea Quigley fan, I didn't want to, you know, kind of be in the same situation a few years from now where I kind of wish I picked this up, but now it's like $150. So I coughed up the $15 and wanted to support this release because I love Linnea Quigley, and I'm sure that these films pack a really fun, cheesy, you know, low-budget, you know, punch to them. So I'm excited to check them out. The next one I got is a double feature from Code Red DVD, who is another one of my favorite DVD distributors. They do awesome stuff. And this is one of their more recent DVD double features under the Maria's B-Movie Mayhem line. And this is Seeds of Evil and The Touch of Satan. I actually, I got this probably well over a month ago, but I just watched both of them this week. They're bad. Like, they're terrible, but they're, you know, they're fun. If you love exploitation and cult cinema as much as I do, they're just worthy enough to be in the collection just for their sheer oddity. And, you know, I gotta say, Seeds of Evil is just ridiculous. It's, you know, it's a fun movie to watch. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I regret watching it, because I certainly don't. I'm happy that I watched it. It's hokey, it's ridiculous. The Touch of Satan was certainly a little bit more redeeming, but plot is for absolute pussies. Like, there's just, you know, logic goes out the window. There's a lot of just, like, you know, curveballs when it comes to the plot in that film, but it's definitely a little cooler. I think that there's some cool murder sequences in it, and some cool makeup design on an old woman character in it, which I really liked. And, you know, these prints are really beaten and scratched to hell. Obviously, you know, Code Red isn't gonna, you know, do much restoration on these, and it's great because it just adds to the charm of movies like this, so I actually really like that for movies of this caliber. So you kind of take what you can get with these, because these are probably, you know, the only existing prints of these films. There might be only a few in circulation, so it's just great that we get these, you know, films on press DVDs from anybody. So that's why you have to really support and love what Code Red DVD does. I certainly do. I buy all of their releases anytime that they come out, so definitely be sure to support an independent label like Code Red DVD. They're definitely doing great work. The next one I got was something that I wanted to get because it's only $5, or at least it was $5 when I got it a month ago, and it's a really good one to get because Shout Factory is going to be putting out the complete series of this show on June 25th, I believe, but the complete series that they're putting out will not be including these holiday specials, so knowing that now, it might be a good time to pick this up just so you have it. I certainly did, because I just wanted to have it, you know, the earlier the better. And this is the Fat Albert Hey 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 Holiday Collection. Like I said, Shout's going to be putting the complete series out in June. It's up for pre-order right now on Amazon if you guys are interested. It's been in the pipeline for a long, long time, but there was just a lot of delays going on with it, but finally we have a release date, which I'm really excited about because I enjoy Fat Albert. But like I said, it's not going to be including the holiday specials, but it's really no big deal because since this is only like $5 on Amazon, can't really go wrong with it, so you might want to swoop this up. That way when the complete series comes out and you snag it and you have this, then you really have everything that has to deal with Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, so definitely support this. The next one I got is another effort that I'm really happy that Warner Brothers picked up the slack on and finally got it to us. Although it seems like we have to wait an entire year before they put out another season, but I guess, you know, one season a year is better than none at all. So I'm happy that that they finally released the complete third season of Family Matters. Grew up loving this show. Who doesn't love the Winslows, TGIF? You know, that was my life growing up as a kid, and Family Matters was just one of those, you know, favorite shows for us as a family. So I'm happy. I'm not too happy, like I said, about the slow pace that Warner Brothers is putting this show out, but like I said, you know, seasons, you know, one season a year is better than none at all, and considering how many years we've waited for this show to come to DVD, it's just good to know that they're still coming out, so thank you, Warner Brothers. The next one I got is another great show from my childhood, from Shout Factory, and this is Big Bad Beetleborgs Season 1, Volume 2. I love this show. This obviously was from the Saban Library, the deal that gave them Power Rangers, this show, VR Troopers, and of course Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. Big Bad Beetleborgs was probably my second favorite out of that. I definitely like Big Bad Beetleborgs more than VR Troopers, so I'm really happy that, you know, Shout is continuing to really, you know, treat the Saban Library with just, you know, so much respect and so much love for these shows and just giving them to the fans that really, really dug them back in the 90s, so I love having these on my shelves. I never thought I would see the day that I would have Power Rangers and Beetleborgs on my shelves, but it's like the greatest thing in the world as a fan of shows like this from the 90s, so certainly keep it up, Shout. Next one I got is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of the most recent James Bond film, Skyfall. I loved this film. I saw this in theaters, thought it was terrific. Sam Mendes did a phenomenal job on this. This film picked up I believe a few Oscars, actually, this Oscar season. Great. Just great technical work. You can always count on any 007 movie at, you know, the bare minimum opening up with killer openings. And Skyfall, I think, has one of the best openings. It's really intense, really cool. Overall, this was a great story. I just love it. I really, really love Daniel Craig's interpretation of 007, so I'm excited to see him continuing to stick with the character, and I really can't wait for the next sequel, but Skyfall is an excellent addition to this classic series. The next three are some awesome Scream Factory titles. The first one you guys have seen when I had gotten a screener of it for review purposes before the actual release, but as being a big fan as I am of Scream Factory, I went out and bought my own copy of Prison to just show added support for the line. So this is the Blu-ray DVD Collector's Edition of Prison. I'm not going to talk about it because I talked plenty about it in the last DVD update, but it's definitely an awesome film, very cool, and great special features. The next one I got is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of The Nest. I had never seen this film before, surprisingly enough, but I always wanted to, and I finally watched it. You know, it's fun. It's not the greatest film in the world from the Corman Library, but, you know, for as many years as I wanted to see it, it didn't, like, you know, overly disappoint me by any means. I just thought it was okay. I definitely return to it. I absolutely revisit it in the future. I don't know, maybe I guess just waiting so long for it, maybe in my head, I was subconsciously putting it on a much, you know, higher pedestal than I should have. But, you know, nonetheless, it's fun. It's goofy. There's definitely fun things in it, so I'll be looking forward to checking it out again. The next one is a really exciting one, and I feel like shit because I haven't been able to, you know, check out either of these films yet, although I have seen one of them. And this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack double feature of TerrorVision and the video Dead. I'm dying to just pop this in and watch both of these films back to back, but I just haven't had the time. But as far as Scream Factory titles, this is definitely the first one that I'm going to be watching next. I know that they have a bunch more coming out in the future, but this is definitely the one that I'm going to be lining up next. The next one I got is a really cool one that I haven't even watched yet, but it's from Olive Films, and this is Night of the Demons 2. Just having this is so cool, you know, on Blu-ray. It's just a shame that, obviously, the best, is not out on Blu-ray, or the third one either, for that matter, but it's alright. It's Night of the Demons. It's still cool to see any films like this out on Blu-ray, so even if, you know, they beat the original to the punch on the Blu-ray market, that's alright. It's just cool to have it out. Next one I got is another MGM title, and this is the remastered edition of The Terminator. One of my favorite action films, sci-fi films from the 80s, and, you know, just favorite science fiction films of all time, actually. James Cameron did a terrific job on this film. It's absolutely wonderful. Classic film. Happy I always resisted buying the shitty editions that MGM did before they did this, you know, terrific remastering of the film, which it so rightfully deserved. So happy I held off all those years and got, you know, what seems to be the definitive transfer. So awesome to have. The next one I got is another cool one, a show that was on during my childhood. I didn't watch it very often, but you don't forget a show like this very easily because it's just such an odd concept, but it's very cool. And Mill Creek actually put this out. This is the complete series of Street Sharks. It comes with all 40 episodes of this show. I'm sure plenty of the kids from the 90s remember this show. What a concept, right? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we were seeing, you know, week in and week out, you know, during the 90s. And, you know, for better or worse, I mean, there was just a lot of original shit. I mean, they were just kind of letting ideas run rampant, no matter how out there they could have been. So that's the thing that I kind of miss the most about the 90s, is that you would just see Street Sharks, and you would see a Crash Dummy cartoon, and you would see an Earthworm Jim cartoon, and it's, you know, it just, the whole, you know, it would just run the gamut of, you know, sky was the limit with any cartoon you could possibly find in the 90s, and this is one of those. The next one I got is a 3D Blu-ray from Disney. I caught this in theaters during the re-release back in December. One of my favorite Pixar films, and this is Monsters, Inc. 3D. Awesome lenticular cover on that, if you guys can make that out. I know there's a bit of a glare, but yeah, it's a really terrific lenticular. I thought the 3D was terrific on this when I saw it in theaters. I do not have a 3D TV yet. I'm just kind of, with each, you know, 3D film that comes out, I'm just kind of buying the 3D versions, the 3D combo pack versions now, because it just makes sense, because I'm sure at some point, whenever I do buy a new TV, it's probably going to have 3D capability, so I may as well be prepared with a library of 3D titles to watch on the damn thing. But, yeah, I just, you know, I had the original Monsters, Inc. Blu-ray, but I just thought that this was a really cool edition to have, and it comes with the For the Birds short, as well as the Toy Story Toons short, Partysaurus Rex, which was really good, and just a ton of special features as to be expected from, you know, Disney and Pixar releases, so definitely check this out. The next one I got is a big favorite for a lot of people. I bought this exclusively through Shout Factory, and yes, I was one of the lucky few that got their pre-order in early enough, and I got that signed lithograph from Joe Murray, which is awesome. I definitely want to get that framed in the future and have it hang in the wall, but what came with that, obviously, was the 8-disc set, which is the complete series of Rocko's Modern Life. One of the best Nick shows from the 90s. You know, you can't even compare. It's terrific. They will be putting out a solo version of Season 4, but until that happens, this is the only way you can get Season 4 at this time. But like I said, don't worry. You know, it'll come sooner rather than later. Just, you know, they've said that they're going to be putting out Season 4 on its own. You know, I bought the first 3 seasons on their own, but I have to support all these Nickelodeon releases, even if it's double dipping. But on something like this, where I paid like $35 or something, $35 for that signed lithograph alone would have been good. So getting the complete series with that is just a bonus for me. So Next one I got is a Shout Factory Blu-ray DVD combo pack from their MGM deal, and this is Dolph Lundgren in Joshua Tree. Been dying to check this out. I haven't had the time, but really looking forward to it because it's fucking Dolph Lundgren. What more do we need to say? Next one I got is, this was released from Disney. This is from the Touchstone banner, and this is Michael Mann's The Insider. Really good, bit of a political thriller at times. You know, it has to deal with the tobacco industry. Russell Crowe and Al Pacino are really fantastic in it. It's got a lengthy runtime, but you're always really invested in this. You never look at your clock once. The story is great. You know, the character development is good, and of course the performances from these great actors are phenomenal. So this is a really, really good film. If you're a Michael Mann film, this is, you know, really high up on, you know, one of his best. The next two are from another one of my favorite DVD distributors, and that is Scorpion Releasing. The first one I got is Diane Franklin in Second Time Lucky. Bit of a cool take on the whole Adam and Eve story with Diane Franklin. You have an audio commentary with her and the producer, as well as an on-camera interview and a still gallery. So very cool to see people like Code Red and Scorpion, and even, of course, Scream Factory, kind of, you know, taking the time to give, you know, features for films like these that, you know, only a very niche audience would care about, so props to them. The next one I got was from Scorpion's Katarina's Nightmare Theater line, and this is Celia, Child of Terror. Haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but it's got a very interesting story that I'm really curious to check out. So, yeah, I always buy the Katarina Nightmare Theater line. It's another great collection that I love looking at on my shelf, and Walter from Scorpion Releasing has been doing a terrific job on these releases, so please definitely continue to support them. Amazon, wherever, you know, you do your online movie buying, definitely support his efforts. The next one I got was one that I've been looking forward to for years, because originally I know Severin had it, and they were saying that they were going to be doing a Blu-ray of it. Obviously, plans for that fell through, and Henstooth Video stepped in, and they finally put out The House That Dripped Blood on DVD only. But luckily, this looks like it was definitely from an HD source, because from what I've seen, the screen grabs look pretty phenomenal. I haven't watched the DVD yet. It's been on my never-ending queue of things to watch that I've bought, but I will be getting to it. But from what I've seen, and reviewers that I certainly trust are saying that, you know, this looks really damn good. So don't, you know, be dissuaded simply because it's a DVD, and for years we thought we were getting a Blu-ray of it. If this is all we're going to get, it still looks pretty damn good, which is enough for me. Unfortunately, there are no features on this, but at the end of the day, you know, you gotta, you know, what can you do, really? Next one I got was a blind buy. I fell in love with this movie, though. I thought it was so great. My heart hasn't, you know, beat as fast during a film in, like, the longest time until I saw this. And this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of this past year's Oscar winner for Best Picture, Argo. Just such a good movie. Just suspenseful, you know, just very adrenaline-paced. It's just really good, and I mean, like, without seeing all of the Best Picture nominees, I think that this definitely deserved the Best Picture Oscar. I mean, I really enjoyed the hell out of this film, and I would really urge people to check this out if you've been curious. It's wonderful. Next one I got was another blind buy that I missed in theaters, and I watched this, and I thought it was really creepy. Really, really creepy. So job well done. Very excited to see what they're going to do with the sequel. I don't know where they're going to go, but that's what kind of has my interest piqued. And this is Ethan Hawke in Sinister. I don't want to talk at all about this because I really didn't know much of a story outside of this few TV spots that I saw. So watching this was really just kind of going into it blindfolded, and it scared the shit out of me. It was really, really disturbing and creepy, so yeah, you know, take it for what it is and check it out. Next one I got is on MGM Mod, simply because Scream Factory is going to be putting out Ninja 3, and I just wanted to see the original, just because it seemed like a cool ninja film from the 80s, and this is Enter the Ninja. Like I said, it's an MGM mod, it's a DVD-R, you can get it off Amazon. I don't really like the whole mod thing. I certainly have, you know, my fair share of them for not liking that whole program, but there's just some times where I'm like, whatever, I'll buy one here, one there. So this was one of the few. Next one I got, being a huge Power Rangers fan as I am, I figured that I would pick this up because it was a more recent movie that they came out with during, I guess, the last few seasons of the show, and this is a special movie event of Power Rangers Clash of the Red Rangers, the movie. Like I said, this is from, you know, some of the last few seasons of the show. Like I said, I haven't really been following the show since the Mighty Morphin Zeo days, but it's just cool to have, you know, any season that they put out on DVD from the newer seasons, I'm just going to continue to buy, because I'll just keep building and building the Power Rangers library ever since Shout put out Mighty Morphin and, you know, seasons 4 through 7, and they're going to continue the rest with the exception of the most recent season, so definitely exciting, so happy to have this. The next one I got is another Code Red double feature, which I haven't gotten to. It was a, you know, one night, it was like a toss-up whether I was going to watch this double feature or the Seeds of Evil double feature, and I picked the Seeds of Evil double feature, which wasn't the greatest. You know, it's hokey, it's ridiculous, but this one I kind of wish I would have watched, because I've just been hearing great things about these films. They seem like an awesome time, and this is the double feature of The Vampire's Night Orgy and Dr. Jekyll vs. the Werewolf. Like I said, I've been hearing awesome things about both these films, so I'm really looking forward to cutting my teeth into this one sometime soon. We'll see. Next one I got is a Warner Brothers Blu-ray, and this is Michael Crichton's Westworld. I got this on DVD like last year for like $7, watched it, really enjoyed the film. I think it's really cool, so, you know, once Warner Brothers issued a Blu-ray, I had to pick it up, so here it is. Next one I got is one of my favorite animated films from this year, and it was the Best Animated Feature winner at the Oscars. And this is the 3D Blu-ray combo pack of Wreck-It Ralph. Another great lenticular cover on that one. I haven't checked out the Blu-ray since I got it. Obviously, I saw it in theaters, loved it. It comes with that terrific Oscar-winning short animated feature, Paperman. One of my favorite Disney shorts in the last few years. I just fell in love with it. It was so charming in the animation style. I really took to. I thought it was really wonderful and really nicely done. This is a great film. You know, it earned a lot of money. A lot of people fell in love with this and the characters, so you know a sequel is certainly on the way. But yeah, this is a great Disney film. Next one I got, more Spielberg on Blu-ray, is always great. So this is the 20th anniversary limited edition of one of his most classic films. This is Schindler's List. Really heavy subject matter. Terrific film, though. Beautifully photographed. Wonderful performances. It's just good. It's really, you know, it's a deep movie. It really is. You know, it strikes very emotional chords for a lot of people that see it. But, you know, Spielberg did a terrific job on this one, and I'm really happy to see that it finally came to Blu-ray. So, like I said, more Spielberg on Blu-ray is always great, so I can't wait to finally get Lincoln next week as well. Next one I got is an MGM triple feature that they just re-released, and I think a few people have been asking if these are mods. They're not. This is actually, these are pressed DVDs, and each of these films are on their own DVD, so you get 3 DVDs in this set, and I think I paid like $10 on release day, and this is Rage of Honor, American Ninja, and Revenge of the Ninja. The main reason that I bought this is simply just because of Revenge of the Ninja, which is the sequel to that mod that I showed you guys before, Enter the Ninja. Enter the Ninja, that's it. And then Scream Factory is going to be putting out Ninja 3, The Domination, in June. So I did just kind of want to see the other two, although I hear that there's not a crazy big connection, but even if you told me, like, oh, you don't need to see 1 to watch 3 because they're completely different stories, completely different characters, there's just something in the back of my head where I'm like, I just don't feel right watching a movie that has, like, a different number at the end of it, and I've never seen the other ones. It's just something, you can tell me up and down, like, dude, it says Batman 4, but it's a movie about Superman, I would be like, yeah, but I gotta see the other ones. I don't know. I just don't like that jumping around shit. So that was mainly the big push as to why I bought this. But I've heard that Rage of Honor and American Ninja are a shit ton of fun, so it seems like I really made out like a bandit with this triple feature, so I'm hoping it's a ton of fun. The next two I got are from Twilight Time, and this is the sold-out Blu-ray of John Carpenter's Christine. Haven't checked it out yet. The screen grabs look great. A buddy of mine told me it looked and sounded good, so I'm happy to see that the $30+ that I spent on it were, you know, hopefully worth it, because that's the thing that's a little killer about Twilight Time. Really hate the pricing. Really, really hate the pricing. I did go and buy another Twilight Time feature, which I'm actually surprised that it isn't sold out yet, and this is Brian De Palma's The Fury. I've never seen this film, but I've always wanted to see it. I know it's kind of like, I've always heard it's a love it or hate it type thing, but I'm a huge De Palma fan, and not having seen this, I'm like, well, I can't pass it up. Like, it's De Palma, although I had to grind my teeth, because I just hate the pricing on Twilight Time, but it kind of, it is what it is. Like, either, like, don't buy it, if you don't want to complain about the pricing. So, I support them. I certainly don't buy. I only buy the releases from them that I truly give a shit about, like As Good As It Gets, and Fright Night, Night of the Living Dead, and then these two. That's all the Twilight Time films that I have, so I'm very selective about the ones that I buy from Twilight Time, but these were two that I definitely wanted to get. The next one I got is from Shout Factory, continuing releasing those great Nickelodeon shows, and this is actually, again, from the Shout Select line that you can buy only exclusively through Shout Factory's website. I know Wild Thornberries, I believe it was Part 2, or Season 2, Part 3, was released in there, as well as Season 3 of Hey Arnold, and then in April they're going to be releasing Season 4 of Hey Dude. So just, keep in mind that these are Shout Select titles. They can only be available exclusively through their website. But this is Season 3 of Cat Dog. I really enjoyed the show growing up. It wasn't one of the best Nicktoons, because this kind of came later in the decade of the 90s, but it still was good. It's fun, and of course it's Nickelodeon cartoons from their heyday, and of course during my childhood, so I support each and every effort from them, so keep up the great job on these releases. And the last few are, just from the last week or so, and a lot of great Disney Blu-rays. The first one is the 2-movie collection of Brother Bear and Brother Bear 2, both films of which I've never seen before. I don't know, they always escape me, but I've been actually doing a lot of reading on Brother Bear, because I just read a big book on, Disney animation. I just have, I've a ton, an unhealthy amount of animation books, and I'm actually really interested in watching Brother Bear, so as far as this batch, this probably will be one of the first ones I check out. The next one of my favorite movies of all time, has finally come to Blu-ray in a 25th anniversary edition combo pack, and this is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Amazing film. I've gone into plenty of detail about this because I reviewed this film in particular on my YouTube channel during that childhood flicks picks segment that I had some time ago. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much about it. You guys know this is one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. I love it. Everything about this film I love. So happy to have it on the Blu-ray shelf. Next one I got is another 2-movie collection from Disney, and this is Mulan in a 15th anniversary edition, and Mulan 2. Mulan's decent. I don't hate it. It's not one of the greatest, late 90s Disney animated films, but it's still good. It's definitely good. I've never seen Mulan 2. I'm willing to bet it's not that great, because that's all you ever hear from those, direct-to-video sequels that Disney was kind of guilty of in the late 90s, so, but I'll, keep my mind very open during it, like I always do, so, that's just what I've heard, but I do like that Disney does do these 2-movie collections with films like this, so it's definitely cost-effective, and it's nice to kind of, kind of check mark off your Disney animated library with releases like these a lot quicker. So very cool. And the last of that Disney haul that they just came out with, this is the 2-movie collection of The Hunchback of Notre Dame 1 and 2. I have a secret. I've never seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know that's crazy because I'm a huge Disney fan, and this is probably one of the more embarrassing things that I hate to admit that I haven't seen because I've always wanted. I mean, I have the friggin' Art of Hunchback of Notre Dame book, which is ironic because I've never seen the movie. So this and Brother Bear are definitely going to be the ones that I'm probably going to pop on sooner than later because I've always loved the Hunchback of Notre Dame story. I always loved the silent version. I think it's a great tale. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Disney did with it. The next one I got, I'm pretty excited to talk about because although, you guys always hear me talk about Disney and Pixar, and I'm a huge Disney junkie, there's no denying that, I've never been a huge fan of DreamWorks. Let me take that back. It's not that I've never been a huge fan of them, they just don't, their films, I own all of their films on Blu-ray, every single one of them, but they just don't connect with me as much as Disney's material. It's just different mentalities that I just happen to take a liking to. But their most recent film, not The Croods, but this one that I'm about to talk about, actually was my favorite film that they've ever done. I just fell in love with everything in this film. I thought it was great. I thought the story was good. I thought the characters were great. I thought everything was good. So I'm really bummed that it was kind of deemed a failure at the box office. But nonetheless, I picked this up proudly because it's my favorite DreamWorks film to date. And this is the 3D combo pack of Rise of the Guardians. Just awesome. I really, really liked it. It's kind of indescribable. It's kind of one of those things where you kind of got to watch it to maybe see if it connects with you and clicks with you the same way it did with me. But I don't know. I really dug it. I thought the voice talent was good. I thought the story was great. The animation was just really wonderful. Guillermo del Toro was a consultant on this, and I believe he was an executive producer. Yeah, he was an executive producer on it, and you can definitely see on a film like this where maybe his presence was a little bit more seen as opposed to some of the other stuff that he's consulted and executive produced on, like Megamind or, even Puss in Boots to an extent. I kind of really feel like you see Del Toro's hand on this a little bit more, so maybe that had a pinch to do with why I liked it, but, it was just, I was really taken with the animation and the story, so certainly check this one out. My favorite DreamWorks film to date. Next one I got is one that I'm so happy finally came out to Blu-ray, and this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Willow, the Ron Howard film, with a story by George Lucas. Just awesome. It's a great fantasy film from the 80s. You would think it's kind of dated and lame, but it's really not. It actually holds up really well. Val Kilmer's in it, and of course Willow is played by, the leprechaun himself, Warwick Davis. It's great. I've just always loved this film, and it got a really great treatment on Blu-ray, so what more can you ask for? And the final two are Shout Factory titles, again from their MGM deal, and this one is probably one of the crowning gems of this entire DVD and Blu-ray update, and this is a 4 action-packed movie marathon collection. On DVD, it's a 2-disc set. It has Cyclone, Alienator, Eye of the Tiger, starring Gary Busey, and Exterminator 2, which was taken from an HD master, and it has a commentary with the director and Mario Van Peebles. 4 films, 2 DVDs, $7.99 on Amazon. How can you beat that? You might not be happy that they're DVD and you would want Blu-rays, but I mean, who can really complain about that? It's $7.99 and you're getting 4 films. 2 films on a disc. 2 discs. Like, it's just awesome. If you like exploitation and cult films and action films from the 80s, like, I don't really understand how you could possibly go wrong with this collection. Like, this just looks like so much fun, and this is hands down the best steal out of this entire DVD update. So I really urge you, if you like this type of stuff, there's no way you can go wrong with a set that's $7.99 like this. So absolutely support this. And the final one I just got a few days ago from Shout Factory, and this is the Blu-ray edition of Time Rider. Never seen this, but I saw it was airing on HD on Netflix streaming, but, you know, I just kind of resisted on watching it because I knew I had this pre-order from Shout. But I've heard really good things from friends that used to always watch this on, you know, HBO cable airings back in the day, way before my time. Seems really cool, like a bit of a Western, I guess sci-fi-ish take. Like I said, I don't really know too much. I'd rather just pop it in and kind of take it for what it is. But I've heard really good things about it, so definitely looking forward to checking it out. Well, guys, that concludes my March 22nd DVD and Blu-ray update. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and supporting my channel. Like, again, I really sincerely apologize for the delay in the update, and of course, kind of the slacking that went on with the Scream and Shout contest. But as you can understand, getting engaged just kind of took a wee bit of a priority over the contest, so I hope that you guys aren't too mad at me, and like I said, I'm going to continue with the DVD updates, but it just might not be as epic or as big as this, which, you know, might be better anyway. That way we won't have to endure 45-minute videos, because I'm sure you guys get bored of me talking all the time anyway. But that said, guys, thank you guys for supporting, and I will certainly see you in a future video, whenever that may be. So wish me luck over the next year as I continue to save for my wedding and get to that wedding date. So I'll see you guys sometime soon, and thank you yet again for tuning in and supporting the channel ever since I came onto the scene. So see you next time. This has been Frightener22.